Miss Bermuda's question is, you've been away from home for several weeks. What are the things you miss most?
I miss my music. I miss the warm weather, the beaches. I miss food and my mother. But I'm having a great time here anyway.
Thank you, Miss Bermuda.
Bermuda, blue skies and deep blue seas. I'm lonely with memories of you. Here in Bermuda,
I first discovered who Gina Swainson was when I was 13. Before I signed up for Miss Teen Bermuda, I discovered her in a book. And I looked at her and I said, who is this beautiful woman who looks like Alicia Keys? And that's when I saw the awe of who Gina Swainson was, the grace, her mannerisms, her poise, her beauty.
I remember watching clips of Gina Swainson on YouTube winning Miss World in 1979. She's been an inspiration of mine since before I did Miss Teen Bermuda, and I got to learn more about her in my journey as Miss Bermuda. And when I was at Miss World, that was the first question they asked me. They, to this day, still admire her. They accolade what she accomplished.
The Miss Bermuda pageant was determined to be a forum which would provide life skills to our young ladies. They were taught how to speak, how to walk, how to sit appropriately, and how to develop a sense of poise and charm. The Miss Bermuda pageant started in 1965. I didn't in fact start the competition. The competition was started by Olive Ann Trott. She in fact was the first person who brought in overseas entertainers for Bermudian audiences. Names that are worldwide known. Olive and the contestants met Muhammad Ali. He was impressed by Miss Bermuda, and Olive encouraged him to come to Bermuda that year to give an exhibition bout. He did that in September, and it was held at the tennis stadium on Marq Rodriguez.
Being Miss Bermuda, it's not something that you take lightly. It's something that the island has chosen to represent them on a global stage.
The first two very important values that I feel embody who Miss Bermuda is was respect and integrity. So integrity, as Miss Bermuda, must be of a high moral standard and be a well-respected peer among the community and her people. But the most important value that I feel Miss Bermuda must embody is passion for her country and her people.
Well, 1979 was like a flashpoint. It opened up the door of possibilities, not only to women, but to young men too. They can see that despite our size, despite our isolation, we can still make a mark. I first met Gina when she came to the first rehearsal. I think this was in the auditorium at the Young Men's Social Club.
It takes a special type of woman to be a part of a pageant. Of course, you have to be intelligent and well-spoken and well-rounded, and it takes a lot of courage. Even before the contestants step on stage, there's already some judging that has gone on. They've already participated in judges' interview. They've already participated in photo shoots. They've already been in front of people who will make the decision who becomes Miss Bermuda. So the competition starts way before they get on stage, which is why training is so important. That night is just for the final night judges to see how these ladies perform under pressure, as it were. They come on stage, they introduce themselves, and they may go through another round of competition. They go through a swimsuit, they go through evening gown, and then they go through another round of questions from the judges themselves. A lot of people think that it's just what you see when they come to the event that night, but it's not. One of the main factors is their interview they do in advance.
Well, it was an unforgettable spectacle. One has to imagine being in this cavernous auditorium, and when you look around, you can see thousands of people everywhere you looked. But the attention, of course, was mainly focused on the stage, where you have so many beautiful young ladies from all over the world. First of all, I saw her one amongst 80, and then of course I was pleased when she was in the 15. But then that was topped by seeing her in the final 5. Then I knew she has a real great chance, because you saw her as one of just 5 people. And the excitement and tension and enthusiasm grew when They said, third runner-up, and Gina remained. Second runner-up, Gina remained. First runner-up, Gina remained. She was Miss World.
And the winner of Miss World is Miss Bermuda, Gina Swainson. Gina is 21 years old.
What I've been made to understand, it was like electricity in the air in Bermuda. As cars traveled on the streets, people were tooting when they saw a car coming the other direction, as if to say, we did it, we did it, we did it. I did mention to someone else that I've seen great notable people come to Bermuda. I've seen people like Presidents Eisenhower and Kennedy, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie. All of those people engendered enthusiasm. All of those people drew crowds. No crowd could match the exuberance of the Bermudian people when our Gina returned home.
This is, for some countries, their ticket out to become something. You know, many women, such as like Vanessa Williams, very successful actresses and singers, were Miss USAs. For Gina Swainson, from the small island of Bermuda, to come and win Miss World and become first runner-up at Miss Universe is an Olympic gold medal for the beauty industry.
Miss Bermuda was on a hiatus for many years before we decided that we would take up the torch and move it forward again. We were able to gain about 15 contestants that year, which is more than the number of parishes we have. So the community really was excited to see the resurgence of this pageant. The first year, it definitely was a huge learning curve. I had experience in events and weddings, but a pageant of this caliber is a production.
It was a joy when I heard the younger girls, maybe 9, 10, 11, telling parents that they want to be Miss Bermuda. They want to grow up to be like Miss Bermuda. That meant that someone somewhere had set an example to which a younger person could aspire. It's been 45 years since Gina won the pageant, but so few people of the general population know about it. There's not a street, building, or anything named after her that would cause young people to say, who is this Gina? There are other people who have had recognition, who have had titles, who have had awards that would stand the test of time. Gina is one for whom the few people who know of her will pass away, and there will be very little to let future Bermudians know that there was a time that one of our own garnered the attention of the world and stood supreme.
Gina Swainson, you don't know how phenomenal she is. Still to this day, she is the most successful beauty queen in history. She literally is a living legend, and she's from Bermuda.
Gina, thank you for showing women all over the world and in Bermuda that anything is possible. Thank you for being an incredible role model. You are an aspiration, and you've touched more young women and men's lives all over the world than you'll ever know.
Gina, thank you for being you. Thank you for paving the way for us. Thank you for making Bermuda a world-renowned, world stage, world record, world holder of a title that's so prestige. Thank you for putting us on the world map. Thank you for your sacrifice, your dedication, and your hard work, and your love for all that you have done in those moments during your reign.
Gina Swainson, Miss Bermuda and Miss World.
She's a beautiful girl, and she deserves to win.